Have you ever noticed that just before something wonderful happens in your life, everything appears to fall apart? The problems intensify, the journey becomes more difficult, and you begin to wonder if you're really on the right track. But listen, now is not the time to resign. That is the time to acknowledge that God is preparing you for something huge. When God is going to reward you beyond your wildest dreams, He will not do so without first preparing you. No, He'll shake things up. He will take away what does not belong, sharpen your faith, and test your patience. Because what He is going to offer you is too much for the old you to bear. So, if you're facing difficulties, if things appear ambiguous, or if you believe you're on the verge of something but can't see it yet, pay attention. Because when God is poised to intervene mightily, He will reveal these 7 indications. Life has a way of putting you to the test when you're on the verge of greatness. Do you ever notice that? Everything begins to go wrong just as you believe you're about to take a new step, just as you feel a breakthrough approaching. The pressure builds, the assaults come out of nowhere, and it feels like you're fighting conflicts you didn't sign up for. This is not a coincidence. It is not bad news. It is a symbol. See, the adversary does not waste time on those who do not play the game. You wouldn't be under this much strain if you weren't ready to go on a huge adventure or enter a season of favor. The struggle proves that you're getting ready. The adversary knows he can't stop God's plan for your life, so he'll do all he can to distract you, annoy you, and make you question yourself so you give up before you ever get there. Maybe people are turning against you. Perhaps you are being misunderstood, lied to, or abused by the individuals you formerly trusted. Maybe your finances have taken a knock, and you're worried how you'll get by. Perhaps it seems like everything that might go wrong is going wrong. In that point, you start wondering, God, why is this happening to me? The better question is, God, what are you preparing me for? God never gives pressure without a reason. When gold is purified, it goes through fire. Diamonds are created under high pressure. When a tree begins to grow higher, its roots must dig deeper. And as you are ready to be exalted, you will confront enormous resistance. That is not the moment to break down. Now is the time to realize that your blessing is closer than ever. Consider every outstanding figure in the Bible who received something amazing from God. Before becoming king, David was hounded like a criminal. Before ruling Egypt, Joseph was betrayed by his brothers and imprisoned. Before rising, Jesus was crucified. The path to greatness is never easy. The path to destiny is seldom without hurdles. The enemy will use fear, uncertainty, and difficulty to convince you that you are unworthy of the benefit that is coming your way. It's easy to become disheartened when everything seems to be falling apart. It's easy to start doubting what God revealed you. However, before the breakthrough, there is always a breaking point. Every victory is preceded by a war. Before the miracle, there is always a point when it appears impossible. That is why you should not give up now. If you are now feeling the weight of resistance, or if you are confronting seemingly insurmountable problems, know that this is not the conclusion of your tale. You are not being attacked because you are losing. You're being attacked because you're winning. You are not being tested because you are weak. You are being tested because you are stronger than you realize. The bigger the calling, the stronger the opposition. The larger the blessing, the greater the conflict. You were made for this. There comes a point in life when doors you formerly strolled through with ease suddenly slam shut. Opportunities that appeared to be a sure thing evaporate without explanation. People you believed would always be at your side begin to distance themselves. Plans that you were so confident in begin to unravel right in front of you. And when that occurs, your first inclination is to fear, to believe you've done something wrong, to wonder why everything you depended on is suddenly slipping through your fingers. What if I told you that God's plan includes both closed and open doors? When God is going to offer you something large, or to elevate you to a higher level, He will begin to remove the things that no longer serve you. He'll start closing doors that would have sent you in the wrong way. He will cut off associations that would have kept you trapped in a season you were never meant to be in. And sometimes He won't even offer you an explanation. He'll just lock the door, leaving you with trust in His abilities. It's difficult when you don't understand why things aren't going as planned. Perhaps you believe the job was destined for you, but the door closed. Maybe you gave your everything to a relationship, yet they moved away. Perhaps you were developing something with your heart and soul, and suddenly it fell out of nowhere. And it's natural to wonder why God allows this to happen. But the better question is, God, what are you making space for? Because every closed door creates an opportunity for something better. You may not see it yet, but God does. He understands what seems excellent, but will trap you. He is aware of the locations that appear to be appropriate, but will just delay you down. He is aware of those that grin at you, but do not truly care about your well-being. So he removes them. He closes the door, and while it may not feel nice and warm, it is vital for where he is leading you. Think about it. If you were still holding on to all your loves, where would you place this fresh benefit God is going to bestow upon you? How could you progress if you were still stuck in your previous situation? God is making room for something better, but you can't have it if your hands are still full of what he has previously ordered you to let go of. You must trust the process. You must realize that when doors begin to close, this is not rejection, but rather redirection. It's God saying, "That's not where I want you. I've got something better." And if you sincerely believe this, you will not waste time attempting to push doors back open. You will not ask folks to remain who were never supposed to be a part of your future. You will not pursue possibilities that do not fit with your destiny. Instead, you will go forward with trust, knowing that what is ahead is far bigger than what you have left behind. Even if nothing has changed, there comes a time in life when everything around you feels foreign. You wake up in the same area, have the same routine, and interact with the same people, yet something feels off. It's as if your soul is saying that you don't belong here anymore. Things that used to thrill you are no longer as enjoyable. Conversations you previously enjoyed feel hollow. The goals you worked so hard for now seem worthless. And no matter what you try, you can't escape the sensation that something is missing. That's not a fleeting emotion. That's God stirring something within you. It's Him letting you know that He's preparing you for something bigger, because when God wants to raise you, He won't allow you stay in a place you've outgrown. He will not allow you to dwell in a season that was only supposed to be transient. He will create a holy soreness in your spirit, pushing you ahead. Even if you don't know where you're going, you may attempt to ignore it, divert yourself, or tell yourself that everything is great. But the restlessness will not stop and will wake you up in the middle of the night. It will be heavily on your heart in quiet moments. It will remind you that you were destined for more, even if you don't know exactly what that is yet. And that emotion isn't meant to annoy you. It is there to prepare you because God is ushering you into a new season and requires you to be ready. But here's the deal. When the restlessness strikes, you have an option. You can attempt to reject it, cling to what's known, and push yourself to stay in a place where your spirit no longer belongs. Alternatively, you might lean into it. You may be confident that the discomfort is a sign of transformation. You can tell that God is calling you higher. That includes letting go of things that no longer serve your purpose. Now, it will not be simple. Growth never is. However, being in a state of restlessness is much more difficult since you already know the truth. You were not supposed to remain where you are. You were not meant to shrink and fit into areas that no longer serve you. You were destined for something better. And this restlessness is God's method of notifying you that you are about to receive something significant. You will begin to see individuals leaving your life. And at first, it may not make sense. Friends you have known for years suddenly stop calling. Relationships that previously felt sturdy begin to deteriorate. People you believed would always be in your corner begin to distance themselves. You can't figure out why. However, comprehend this. Not everyone is destined to go where God is leading them. See, when God raises you, He does not only bless you, He also protects you. And sometimes it involves eliminating individuals from your life before they have a chance to obstruct the blessings He has planned for you. Some individuals are only meant to be in your life for a while. And when their time comes, God will enable conditions to change so that they naturally fade away. Not because they are awful people, but because their presence no longer serves your purpose. I know it hurts. People die all the time. You may wonder, why is this happening? What did I do wrong? But this is hardly a rejection. It's a redirection. It's God clearing the way, making place for something bigger, larger, and holy. See, some of the people in your life right now are unable to handle the version of you that God is creating. They were content with the old you, the one who played small, questioned, and remained in destructive cycles. However, the new you, which God is polishing, will terrify, expose, or outgrow them. And instead of rising with you, they will opt to depart. And that's okay. Let them. Because when God removes something, It is just to create place for something better. Some individuals can only manage you on one level and are not prepared to accompany you to the next. Elevation necessitates separation. And when God is going to give you something significant, He will remove you from anyone who cannot be trusted with your future. So stop begging people to remain. Don't pursue those who have gone away. Trust that God knows what He's doing, because what He's about to offer you is far more than what you've lost. When God is preparing to offer you something huge, you will begin to receive unexpected confirmations. These are not just coincidences or occurrences of chance. These are obvious evidence that God is communicating personally to you. You may start hearing the same message over and over. A sermon, a discussion, or a radio song all convey the same message and point you in the same direction. You may be contemplating a major decision when you notice indicators all around you urging you to proceed. Someone can say just what you needed to hear, validating what you've been feeling all along. And sometimes God communicates through the silence. You may have an unshakable peace about something that defies rationality. While others are skeptical and the situation appears uncertain, you know deep down that you are meant to be here. That peaceful certainty is God's way of telling you that He has already gone ahead of you. Then there are the dreams, visions, and moments when God speaks straight to your soul. Perhaps you wake up from a dream that seems so real that it stays with you all day. Or you get an idea that comes out of nowhere, yet feels divinely inspired. This isn't your imagination playing tricks on you. This is God's confirmation that He is moving on your life. See, when God is planning anything large, He anticipates the doubt that arises. He knows the opponent will try to make you doubt yourself. So what does He do? He sends you confirmation not once, but often, until you can't ignore it and are certain that this is His plan for you. But here's the thing. You have to pay attention because God is constantly speaking. Are you listening? Are you too preoccupied to notice? Too busy to notice the signs? If you continue to pray for guidance while dismissing every indication He gives, you may lose out on what you've been asking for. So, when you start witnessing these strange confirmations, don't dismiss them. Acknowledge them. Thank God for them. And, most importantly, follow through on them. Because when God sends you a message, it is not just to reassure you, but also to prepare you for what is to come. When God is going to give you something significant, your faith will be challenged like never before. And I'm not talking about little, daily obstacles. I mean challenges that shake you to your core, making you doubt everything, including your plans, purpose, and even your connection with God. This is where the true refinement occurs. This is when your faith is tested because God is preparing you for something bigger than you could ever dream. You may feel as if everything is working against you. The job you were counting on falls through. The relationship you believed was everlasting has abruptly crumbled. The possibilities you fight so hard for are slipping through your fingertips. And in these moments, uncertainty seeps in. Fear attempts to immobilize you. You start questioning God. Why are you allowing this? Why does it seem like everything is going wrong? But realize this, God is not punishing you. He's prepping you. He is removing anything that isn't meant to be with you in your next season. He is training you to believe Him even when you don't see the results. Faith isn't faith if it only works when everything goes smoothly. Faith is tested amid the storm. Faith is believing when there is no proof, when reasoning says it's over, when your bank account is empty, when others walk away, when the situation appears impossible, yet you still believe. This is the true exam. How will you respond? Will you give up? Will you allow fear to take over? Or will you stay steady, knowing that God has control? God is monitoring how you handle this season. He's seeing if you'll stick with Him until nothing makes sense. And if you can remain faithful now, you will be prepared for the breakthrough when it occurs. See, the blessing you've been asking for is more than simply receiving. It's also about becoming. You must become the person who can bear the weight of what you are asking for. This implies that your trust must be unshakable. That implies you must trust the method as well as the promise. Because the better the blessing, the greater the challenge. The higher the calling, the greater the fineness. So, if you're in the flames right now, don't give up. If your faith is being challenged like never before, remember that your breakthrough is closer than ever. Because when God is going to give you anything significant, He first ensures that you are capable of handling it. And that power stems from one thing: unshakable faith. When God is preparing to offer you something significant, opportunities will appear unexpectedly. Not just any opportunities, but ones that appear out of nowhere at the perfect time. You may have spent years knocking on doors that never opened, submitting applications, developing contacts, and putting up effort only to be met with silence or rejection. But then things start to alter. Doors that were previously fastened shut begin to slide open. Calls arrive unexpectedly. People you've never met before enter your life and introduce you to possibilities you hadn't even considered. But here's the thing. These aren't random accidents. This is heavenly alignment. These are divinely choreographed experiences that prepare you for the blessing that is soon to be released in your life. What's noteworthy is that these possibilities typically present themselves in unexpected ways. You may have been focused on one road, believing that your blessing will come from a certain source, but God does not operate according to human reasoning. He works in ways that confound expectations. This is where discretion is essential. See, when these unexpected possibilities arise, they may not necessarily seem as you think. They may demand you to move outside of your comfort zone, take a risk, or trust God in ways you have never done before. Because the blessing lies not only in the chance itself, but also in your desire to embrace it. If you are too focused on how you believe things should be, you may overlook what God is doing right in front of you. This is when faith comes into play. These prospects will frequently need a leap of faith. They may urge you to leave something familiar, to say yes to something uncertain, or to believe that God is directing you even when you can't see the whole picture. And that is the test. Will you have the guts to take the next step that God has for you? You know, when God is preparing you for something significant, He does not simply drop the blessing in your lap. He shows you the doors and waits to see if you have the faith to walk through them. And that is why these unexpected possibilities are not coincidental. They are your assurance that God is working in your life. When God is prepared to give you something huge, He does not just deliver it to you. He prepares you for it. He tests your trust, refines your character, and eliminates everything that prevents you from receiving His complete favor. Challenges, closed doors, unrest, and people leaving your life are all part of the process. It is not rejection. It's a redirection. If you've been up against adversity or feel that everything around you is altering, don't give up. God is preparing you for something higher. You're not being abandoned. You're being positioned. The challenges you observe now are signals that a breakthrough is on the way. And when those unexpected possibilities arise, don't let fear or uncertainty prevent you from seizing them. Trust that God understands exactly what you're feeling. So stand steady. Keep your trust steady. Hold on, even if the process is difficult. Because when God is going to give you anything significant, He makes sure you are prepared to accept it. And when that time arrives, you will not just step into a blessing. You'll walk into the purpose and destiny He's been planning for you all along.